Hello guys, if you want to learn life in the UK Test Handbook with animation, please subscribe to my channel. In this video, I will explain a summary of the chapter 4, A Long and Illustrious History. Who introduced shampooing to Britain? Mahomet and his Irish wife Jane Daly introduced the shampooing, which was the Indian art of the head massage, to Britain. While slavery was illegal within Britain itself by the 18th century, it was fully established overseas industry in Britain's colonies and American colonies. Where did slaves come from? Slaves came primarily from West Africa. Slaves were taken to America and Caribbean, where to work on tobacco and sugar plantations. Who were the Quakers? Quakers were the first anti-slavery group in the 1700s. Which group was opposed to the slave trade in Britain? Quakers in Britain opposed to the slave trade. Who was the abolitionist? Abolitionists supported the abolition of slavery. Who was William Wilberforce? He succeeded in turning public opinion against the slave trade and changed the law of slavery. William Wilberforce was members of the parliament, evangelical Christian, advocate for the abolition of the slave trade. When did the slavery trade become illegal in Britain? In 1807, slavery trade became illegal in British ships or from British ports. Which act abolished slavery throughout the British Empire? In 1833, the Emancipation Act abolished slavery throughout the British Empire. After Emancipation Act, the Royal Navy stopped slaves ships from other countries, freed the slaves, and punished the slave traders. What happened after Emancipation Act run? After the Emancipation Act run, 2 million Indian and Chinese were replaced by the freed slaves. How many workers were replaced after Emancipation Act? 2 million Indian and Chinese workers were replaced. Indian and Chinese workers worked in the sugar plantation in Caribbean, in mines in South Africa, or railways in East Africa, and the army in Kenya. Indian and Chinese workers work in sugar plantation in Caribbean or mines in South Africa. Indians and Chinese workers work in railways in East Africa or army in Kenya. In 1760s, there were substantial British colonies in North America. Colonies were wealthy and controlled their own affairs. Many of the colonies' families gone to North America to have religious freedom. They were well educated and interested in idea of liberty. دوستان این قسمت مربوط به تیتر بعدی هستش، یعنی جنگ استقلال آمریکا. The American War of Independence was between 13 North American colonies and British forces. The American War of Independence. There were substantial British colonies in North America. British government wanted to tax the American colonies. Colonists saw this as an attack to their freedom and said no taxation without representation in the British Parliament. Parliament tried to compromise by repenting some of the taxes, but relationship between the British government and colonies continued to worsen. Then fighting broke out. Fighting broke out between the North American colonists and the British forces because they didn't want to pay taxes without representation in Parliament. During the American War of Independence, 13 American colonies declared independence in 1776. People had the right to establish their own government. Eventually, colonies defeated the British Army, and the British recognized the colony's independence in 1783.